tough weekend for football in the state of Pennsylvania. We started in Pittsburgh, and we'll get back there. Meanwhile, Sunday in Philly, the defending Super Bowl champions saw their season come to a lackluster end in a bad game against San Francisco. Yesterday, Jalen Hurts asked about his much-maligned offensive coordinator, Kevin Patullo, and his top target, A.J. Brown. Here's what he said.
You do have the opportunity to have that with Kevin Patullo. Do you want him to come back as the offensive coordinator?
It's too soon to think about that. And like I said, I put my trust in Howie, Nick, and Mr. Leary.
What about A.J. Brown? Would you like A.J.?
A.J. and I have talked. We're in a great place.
Last one.
Maybe y'all can talk to him and ask.
Why were we all laughing when he said that?
Yes, he was. Because, I mean, it seemed like he was communicating what he wanted to communicate without actually saying it. It reminded me a lot of the Lamar conversation that we had last week, where it's like, yeah, he ain't in love with A.J. or Patullo. So I think that he's going to be fine no matter what
And he
decision
knew A.J. was already gone.
Yeah.
A.J. had already packed it up. No, he wasn't answering no
We
questions.
already talked.
We already talked.
Yeah, he done.
What we're reading through the lines there, or whatever, maybe even above the lines, is that Jalen Hurts is not happy and that change is coming in Philadelphia.
I can't speak to Jalen Hurts' happiness. Obviously, no one there's happy. They just lost. But look, if you follow the pattern, they get to the Super Bowl with Shane Steichen as offensive coordinator. He becomes head coach of the Colts. They promote from within. It doesn't go well. Then they hire Kellen Moore. They win the Super Bowl. He becomes head coach of the Saints. They promote from within. It doesn't go well. I think whoever's the offensive coordinator of the Eagles next year has a pretty good shot to be coaching like the Jets in 2027.
It ain't going to be Dom. They ain't promoting Big Dom up in there.
I don't know.
You might put him up in there.
A lot of airtime.
Big Dom up in there.
Let me ask the question that matters in this. The Eagles' problems this season, were they coaching problems first and foremost?
Yeah, I think you would lean towards Patullo for sure. And I think the largest thing for me is just the lack of QB design runs. Like if you think about Kellen Moore and what he did exceptionally well, they had 96 QB runs in 2024. That's not including tush push, so y'all can take all the tush push stuff out.
Call for B10.
B10, let's go. That's what I'm talking about.
B10,
okay, so there we go. 2025, we're rocking 41, and that's a glaring. And again, it's more about continued drives. It's more about execution, leaving your offense on the field. They led the league in three and outs. Like you just look at this offense, there was just a lot going on. And again, midway through the season, they want to make this shift where A.J. Brown wants the ball more often, and they give him the ball more if they go 0-3 in that stint. Like at some point, whoever's in charge of the offense, whether that's Sirianni, Patullo, whoever it is, has to lay, this is our identity, this is what we're going to do, this is what we're sticking to. And with a defense like this, I just want to make this clear. Think about Houston's defense last night.
Yeah.
They score 2 touchdowns. Mm-hmm. Their quarterback puts the ball on the ground 5 times, and they still win, okay? So if you're going to be a defensive-led team, then your offense does not need to be a risky team, and it can't be high risk. So I thought there was a decent balance, but at the end of the day, you can't drop. Listen, you can say what you want about the last drive, Dan. The receivers got to catch the ball. They got to catch the ball. Like, you got a chance. You got a minute 28. You're on whatever yard line. You got to go score, bro. Like that's not just coaching, y'all. That's the ball hits you in the freaking hands. You got to secure the play. Other receivers on the league are making catches. You got to make the catches.
I don't care about the last drive. This is like the 95th time this year the Eagles offense completely shut down in the second half of a game. You got to have answers. You don't have to be risky, but you got to have answers. The team that beat them lost one of its best players in the first half, is already down half of its roster, and is drawing up plays in the dirt, has a wide receiver throwing it. Give me something. I think the frustrating part about watching that offense, and it's happened all year, and it was very on display in this game, is that it appears as if they're not trying unless they're trailing. Yeah. I'm watching in the second half, it's 2nd and 8, it's 2nd and 10, it's 3rd and 10, it's 3rd and 11, and they're running the ball and throwing swing passes. And I have to be I'm not a fan of the Eagles. I'm just a fan of football. Come on, guys. And I imagine the Eagles fans are watching it try something. We've been together. We won a Super Bowl last year. We've been together all year. And our answer on 3rd and 10 is a swing pass to Saquon Barkley that's
that's not working. And I get it. AJ, when they did try to attack downfield, AJ had some drops, but it's still like this is the point that we made about this team all year. And maybe they just weren't as good as we wanted to pretend that they were. But the point that we made was the reason why we wanted them to be more aggressive offensively is there will come a game where the breaks won't come your way, and you wish that you would have extended a lead. And I'm watching this game, and they're like, we're up by 1. Let's go ahead and punt. Now let's figure out how we can punt and not make a mistake. And on the other side, while Purdy wasn't perfect, he's throwing interceptions, but you watch this team, which knows that they aren't that good or knows that they don't have that much margin of error. They're like, look, we got to take shots, and we're watching the Eagles like, come on, do something, do something, do something. They're not trying.
2 thoughts from here. One, how hard it is year after year to get to that elite level and to truly be contending for a Super Bowl. I remember being in New England, winning in 2018, and we came back for that offseason. All the guys in the locker room, all they said is prepare yourself. Whenever we win, we have our hardest offseason preparing for that next year because the coach there believed that when you get to that level of success, it takes another type of effort to do it year after year. That's why we're watching the Eagles and we're saying, all right, they get to the Super Bowl and it's a wild card exit. They get to the Super Bowl and it's a wild card exit. When you talk about their offense, for me, we all look at Kevin Patullo, and yes, you can talk about creativity, you can talk about forwards, all of these things. It comes a point where everybody has to execute. Players and coaches all on the same level. This is in this game this past weekend. They're going no huddle. The quarterback's at the line of scrimmage, and he's communicating with everyone. You can blame the coach for this. You can blame the quarterback. You can blame the players. He gets them in what you would assume is the perfect play for what they're seeing on defense. He's going to look up top. You're going to get a slant on the outside, and then Saquon Barkley going to the flat. It's covered. That's okay. When he comes back to the bottom of the screen, A.J. Brown is blocking as if it's a run. Devontae Smith released and just looked at the quarterback as if he didn't know the play. This is in the middle of a playoff game. So, yes, you can blame the offensive coordinator. But when the headset goes off, the quarterback is at the line of scrimmage, and he is now in control of the offense. So you're going to continue to blame Kevin Patullo for all of that as well. We saw so many plays in that game where players didn't execute, and then we saw a simple offense. So it's all of them.
I get your point, and that, you can blame a bunch of people, but that also is coaching.
Yes.
Like, that's also coaching. Like, we practice to the point where we're in a big, important game at the end of the season, and half the team is doing one thing, and half the other team is doing something else. That's
these are the same players that won the Super Bowl last year. So now all of a sudden, you guys all forgot how to communicate and line up and run a play properly?
But the coaching failing there is that they're not invested, right? Like, if you're not trying anything on offense, if you're just like 2 yards in a cloud of dust, then you're going to lose your guy. I mean, you got to keep these guys locked in. Come up with something. We're here with solutions to help you guys. Let's do it together. It just felt like they were giving up.
It was a season that felt messy all the way through, and it finished about as messy as it possibly could. Where it goes from here, we'll be following it for you. In the meantime, where does Aaron Rodgers go from here? Should he return for another season? Should that season be in Pittsburgh? We go back to last night's game and the fallout in a moment. Plus, big story from Heather